Long ago, in the land of Israel, God's people faced a moment that tested their faith like never before. The Philistine army stood on one hill, strong and loud. On the opposite hill stood the army of Israel, led by King Saul. Between them lay a wide valley, a place filled with fear, uncertainty, and waiting. Every morning and every evening, a giant stepped forward from the Philistine camp. His name was Goliath of Gath. Goliath was over 9 feet tall, wearing heavy armor made of bronze. His helmet, chest armor, and spear were massive, so heavy that an ordinary soldier could barely lift them. His voice thundered across the valley as he shouted insults at Israel and mocked their God. "Choose a man to fight me," Goliath called out. "If he defeats me, we will serve him. But if I defeat him, you will serve us." Each time Goliath spoke, fear spread through Israel's camp. Even King Saul, the tallest and strongest man in Israel, was afraid. Day after day, no one stepped forward, not because they didn't believe in God, but because they forgot how powerful God truly was. Meanwhile, in the small town of Bethlehem, there lived a young shepherd named David. David was the youngest son in his family. While his older brother served in the army, David stayed home, caring for sheep. Out in the fields, David spent long days and quiet nights with God. He worshipped, prayed, and trusted the Lord with all his heart. One day, David's father, Jesse, asked him to bring food to his brothers at the battlefield. David obeyed. When David arrived at the camp, he heard Goliath shouting his challenge. He saw the fear on the soldiers' faces, and he was confused. "Why is no one doing anything?" David asked. "Who is this Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" David wasn't focused on the giant's size. He was focused on God's greatness. When King Saul heard about David, he sent for him. Saul looked at the young shepherd and said, "You can't fight Goliath. You're just a boy, and he's been a warrior his whole life." But David spoke with calm confidence. "When I cared for my father's sheep," David said, "I fought lions and bears. When they attacked the flock, God gave me victory. The same Lord who rescued me then will rescue me now." David wasn't trusting his strength. He was trusting God's faithfulness. Saul agreed and offered David his armor, but it was too heavy. David couldn't move freely, so he took it off. Instead, David chose what he knew: his shepherd's staff, his sling, and 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream. With faith in his heart and God's name on his lips, David walked toward the valley. Goliath laughed when he saw David. "Am I a dog," he shouted, "that you come at me with sticks?" Goliath cursed David and threatened him. But David didn't back down. He declared words that still echo today. "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel. The battle belongs to the Lord." David knew something powerful. Victory doesn't come from weapons. It comes from God. As Goliath charged forward, David ran toward him. He placed a stone in his sling, swung it, and released it. The stone struck Goliath in the forehead. The giant fell face down to the ground. With God's help, David had defeated what no one else dared to face. When the Philistines saw their champion fall, they fled. The army of Israel rose up in victory, praising God for what he had done. The story of David and Goliath reminds us of a powerful truth. No problem is too big for God. No fear is stronger than faith. And no one is too small to be used by the Lord. David wasn't chosen because of his size or strength, but because of his heart. Just as God was with David, he's with us today. When we trust him, stand firm in faith, and remember that the battle belongs to the Lord, we can face even the biggest giants in our lives.